Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. We're in the Worldwide People's Championships. I'd like to just look at, not actually the game, I'm going to focus on BC Blackheart, taking on Crazed. Of course, this is over 2000, week 31, round 1 here on Desert Arena. Round 2 is going to be the winner of Vortex and Voodoo. Hopefully people watch that one as well. And this map, some very special builds on this one, given huge amounts of reclaim. So we're gonna see some strange things. Now, looking at what we have in the factory: first 2 engineers, then a light assault bot, another 2 engineer, and then a tank and a scout, and then a whole bunch of NGs. So besides NGs, there's 2 groups: a scout and a tank, and a marine and a scout. So 2 different directions, most likely. That's where those are gonna go. We're gonna see what happens with those. Blackheart choosing to get a PGen before the Hydra with the ACU. You can see here he's going to move up. He's going to assist the engineer on the Hydra. And here the trick is to build as little power as possible without actually power stalling. So he's got about 700 left in the bank, which is about what you need for the Hydra. Also, something very important here, as we see the Scout and the McMarine come out, is the way Blackheart is organized as engineers. The first 2 engineers, one initiated the Hydra and the other one is purely on reclaim. And even though the reclaim isn't, the mass and storage isn't that low, that reclaim is critical. Actually, a second engineer is going to do that as well. We know how it looks like to the bottom. Here the McMarine is going to look for any expansions, expanding engineers. And here, this is something very important. With these low power build here, Hydro and a PGen, and given how much reclaim there's going to be, the time of this engineer that's going to go on the power spam was even before the second factory was finished. That's very aggressive in terms of power, so something very much necessary on this map. But so far it doesn't look like air is part of the plan for Blackheart. We're not going to see the tank and the scout. This is surely the defensive group, and offensively here we're going to see the Mantis. See some nice dodging action from Blackheart, but of course the Mantis is just not going to have any problems. Looks like the tank's going to move down. And now we already see 3 factories, and so far the 2 builders for the factories have been the ACU plus engineers, a build capacity of 15 versus a build capacity of 10 for the power. And a really great organization. You can see how the power and reclaim is going in one direction and the factories are going in the other direction. And straight out of the factory, you got the factory attack move. It's multiple different attack moves just to spread it out a little bit. And here, if you look at your economy and need something to do, you just know exactly where to find your energy. It's not cluttered somewhere in between factories. Even more build capacity now for Blackheart on the land production. And of course, facing somebody like Crazed and Cybern, a gesture could definitely be a possibility, and a gesture would cause Blackheart to lose quite a few engineers. Although with these many factories, the effectiveness of the gesture attacking the actual base isn't that high, given you can switch them all to flak immediately. But still, that's a big problem. The gesture could deny the expansion for a while, and so far no. Looks like you have more build capacity now on, so 15 build capacity on power, 2 more engineers, total of 4 engineers on land spam, and also a couple of engineers, and already nearly got 2000. Of course, on this map, wide raids are always nice. You want to keep your enemy honest, and it appears the direction of expansion for Blackheart with the units is down. You can see where this radar is positioned. Anything that might come in to try to deny this expansion, he'll spot it right away, and he had a force, and now actually looks like he's going to move down. And here with this attack on Crazed, he knew that Crazed would have to pull his units to run after the striker, and that's exactly the point at which he attacked, which actually saved that striker's life. We can see here perhaps a problem for Blackheart, a bit of mass problems, and perhaps he didn't put enough into reclaim. He hasn't really got too much reclaim lately. He's got a couple more engineers here in a factory attack move, but in this position perhaps putting a little less on the reclaim might be on factories might be a good idea. This is now very much exposed. You can see how Blackheart moved all of his units, didn't leave the scout. And here a raider in the middle will be very nice. Not really sure if Crazed has one of those. No, it doesn't look like either player has a raider. It's one of the reasons to have this middle position. It's very valuable. Of course, with enough micro, you can use these scouts on such a small map quite effectively instead of Tech 1 Raider. 3 engineers on the factory land spam. Still 3 engineers in the power spam. Power's been not really an issue for Blackheart, not surprisingly given that he has had mass issues. And the ACU with the expansion looks like ignoring this Hydra. And more raids, and you can see that Crazed has at least 4 expansions. Some probing runs here from Blackheart. And one thing about, of course, Cybern versus UEF, they do have the speed so they can recover and defend much faster, but straight up the striker is a little stronger. But with numbers, given the high fire rate of the Mantis, strikers don't really have much of a chance unless they do have close numbers. But in an overkill situation where you're going 10 tanks versus 20, the Manta is going to absolutely decimate the strikers. While Cybern with the 10 Mantis versus strikers, they can maneuver around, try to pick off a couple loose strikers on the edge and then run away. So it's quite a big difference between these two factions in the Tech 1 game. Medusas are always also quite nice against strikers, especially in large numbers like this. Don't have high fire rate, but when you're shooting at slow units, take half an hour to turn around. It's quite effective. Very surprising we're seeing mech marines from Blackheart, and so far Blackheart, oh, this is interesting. Oh, that's dead now. Blackheart 7000 reclaim started quite strong, but has had mass issues this entire game, well, at least the last 3 minutes, which have really hampered his production. Meanwhile, Blackheart in the middle with ACU. This could be dangerous if there's a massive force from Crazed here. He knows a large part of the force is here, but this is trying to get as much as he can with his ACU. Another good raid here from Blackheart. And now suddenly the mass is just so high. And the question is, I'm actually going to slow it down. What does Crazed do in a position like this, where he is attacking quite well? I can't think that he has enough units to break Crazed here. I mean, he's just sort of probing forward, trying to secure this area, trying to get this reclaim. But when he has this much mass, does he upgrade? I mean, he's got plenty of power to either go second air, make more factories, or even do some upgrades. And it looks like he has just started an upgrade. This is enough to get 2 Tech 2 mass extractors. And of course, this right here is an expansion that Blackheart needs to take. He does not have radar here. Love to see a radar here for Blackheart. And of course, the ACU for Crazed is right here. So Blackheart shouldn't be thinking about attacking this position unless he's killing the ACU. Instead, if he grabs that and takes out this weak position while he has the center, he should be in pretty good shape. Let me get it back to regular speed. But once you get that much reclaim and with this much power, we're going to see Tech 2 upgrades. And even though there's quite a bit of power, that's no reason to stop making power. And it looks like it's another Hydra here for Blackheart. If you stop making power on this map, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. And Tech 2 air now from Crazed. Okay, this is a very big development now from Crazed. Blackheart, what is his move here? He needs to run away. He does not have... Looks like Crazed is not able to find Blackheart. Now he has found him. Blackheart's probably trying to be tricky and try to move to a different side. Love to see these engineers make a whole bunch of flak. And we've just seen all these factories, not all of them, but quite a few, switch to Tech 1 flak. Blackheart, you can do a little bit of dodging if you want. And here it is, a whole bunch of Tech 1 flak. And what really saved Blackheart in this position is that he had such good land control. And looks like now Crazed is going to find himself in a lot of trouble. And this is where it's very important not to panic. The eco for Blackheart is just massive now. And all that was necessary is a couple engineers making Tech 1, then switch a couple factories to Tech 1 Flak and Crazed here. This is what it looks like when you're playing Blackheart.
Commander under attack.
Yep, you gotta be put right into the corner. Blackheart is gonna move on to round 2. So well played. Hopefully people enjoy this one.